Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Boisterous coming to you some Gold League goodness out of the map Condemned Ridge. Spying up here in the top right hand corner, we do have Neowulf as the red Terran, and down here in the bottom of the left hand corner, we do have ShadowWraith as the blue Zerg. And if you guys are noticing anything a little bit different about the recording quality, that's because I got a new microphone. And if you're noticing nothing different about the recording quality, that's because I probably fucked something up. And, you know, I didn't plug it in right, or I didn't connect it right, or I didn't do the audio editing magic right. However, since this is a test commentary, it'll be just a spare commentary, and I'll hopefully get everything sorted out and ready to go for tomorrow, when, you know, an actual commentary takes place. Now, of course, this is a real game that somebody sent in to me, but if I do F it up a little bit on the commentary side, or on the, you know, getting the voice right side, I'll probably be re-commentating it for tomorrow. However, hopefully that will not happen, as we do have ShadowWraith going for his spawning pool, and we have his opponent Neowulf going for the first supply depot. And of course, this is Wings of Liberty, so there is a units tab, but I don't think there's a structures tab. Yeah, there's no structures tab. And just by the way, somebody was talking to me yesterday about how I should remember to use the units and structures tab to figure out who has what, and I forgot that the structures tab existed in that Heart of the Swarm replay. I was like, where's this building? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, well, let's just search around the base a little bit. Where is it? Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh, I don't see it. I don't see it. Where is this building? And then I was like, oh, shit. And then I found it, and I was like, oh, shit, I could just use the structures tab. Somebody's going to be mad about that. And guess what? They were. Yes, internet. Go, internet. Thank you, Runic. That was very nice. I actually did need that, because I completely blanked out on the fact that the structures tab existed in Heart of the Swarm. It's one of those really fancy commentary things that I'm just going to need to get used to. The same as this microphone, which of course I got for Christmas, and it's all fancy, and I just set it all up, and I got this little tiny audio tuner so that I can change the gain, maybe turn it up a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Oh, let's turn it back down. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That was a little bit of a spike in volume, but I'll see if I can fix that in post, because you know what? I'm all fancy now, and all professional. Ah, da 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 da. Oh, and it would appear that ShadowWraith is rushing, which of course I didn't notice because I was too busy fucking around with my microphone. Wonderful microphone. Well, it would appear that we do have the SCVs pulling themselves off of the line. A couple of them are going to go down here, maybe even a third. Nope, just the two. It would appear that I control escaped, and that completely effed up with how I could control the game. So that was a little bit on the awkward side. It looks like we have quite a few SCVs going down here, and these Zerglings are most certainly winning. That was some beautiful micro from ShadowWraith, managing to only lose 2 Zerglings in all of that harass. It would appear that this Marine will get the 3rd Zergling. However, everything else will go off. ShadowWraith should probably be spending a little bit of time trying to snipe this last supply depot, because, you know, it has 49 health left, and it's about to finish. But it would appear that Neowulf is just going to be using it to cancel, and with some nice SCV blocks, we are going to see the last of these Zerglings go down. However, they did do an extreme amount of damage. 11 workers killed for 6 Zerglings. That is impressive. That is very good. It was 11 workers and technically 1 Marine, but that really did not set off ShadowWraith at all. He was making drones throughout the entirety of that harassment, and it would appear that he is now prepping to go for his hatchery. He is placing it down. He is getting it ready to go, and you know, this is pretty nice. This is going well for ShadowWraith at this point in time. I'm quite excited to see how this goes for him. We do have 2 spine crawlers spawning up, as he is a little bit afraid of the all-in, and honestly, once you do that much harassment damage, that's a good thing to be afraid of. People usually all-in when they think they're so far behind, and honestly, Neowulf is very far behind. If we look at the workers tab, it's 9 SCVs to 18 drones. That is definitely a little bit on the rough side. He is, of course, producing SCVs as fast as humanly possible, but honestly, ShadowWraith's economy is just in such a solid position, it's going to be hard for Neowulf to crawl his way back into this game. It would appear that we have the 2 spine crawlers finishing up at the front, maybe even dropping down a 3rd. Now, this is a little bit of overcommitment to defense. I would honestly just build another queen, or maybe another 2 queens instead of that 3rd spine crawler, because honestly, spine crawlers aren't really, I mean, they're good, but it's better to just have the extra chance fuses and the extra DPS from the queens than it is to have an extra spine crawler. Plus, you know, queens are always good throughout the entirety of the game due to their ability to like creep tumors all over the place and kind of just infect the map. We do have the spine crawlers moving down, and they are going to be planting themselves at the natural at this point. And we see Neowulf just moving out with his 4 Marine army. He took the Xel'Naga Tower for just a second. I'm surprised he didn't leave at least 1 Marine there to keep an eye on it. It would appear that we do have Marauders coming out from Neowulf, so we might see a little bit of a very aggressive strategy coming out. In fact, he has even cut SCV production at this point, which is an interesting plan considering the fact that he only has 15 SCVs. There we go, there's the 16th SCV coming out right now. It would appear that we have his overlords flying back into the main base for ShadowWraith, so we are going to have a defense, actually quite a good defense from ShadowWraith. Is he going to drop down another 2 spine crawlers? That's the only reason I can think for these drones being here, which is a little bit on the awkward side. And if my voice ever gets quiet, it's because I'm used to not having to directionally place my voice towards my microphone, so it's kind of weird talking right up against a pop filter, because I can, like, the pop filter is literally on my cheek right now. So, you know, this is, again, just a test commentary. I'm trying to get everything right, and it's kind of weird to just sit there test commentating battles when there's no battles going on, because I feel strange. I feel like I am a weird person. Now, of course, I am a weird person. I am an extremely weird person, but I typically don't feel that way about myself. I don't feel it in my gut. I just know it in my head. So, of course, I decided to open up this replay, get a little bit of the test commentary going down. It looks like ShadowWraith is extremely committing to this defense, which is, of course, you know, it's a nice decision. It's not awful, because he did so much damage with that opening harass. He can overcommit to defense, because he's so far ahead. Now, you know, usually people would say, why wouldn't you just go more ahead? Why wouldn't you pick up a 3rd base along with your natural? And it's too far ahead. You know, you might get slammed by a Terran rush like this. Now, with 5 spine crawlers, there's no freaking way this Terran army is going to be breaking down this door without siege tanks, because there's, you know, 5 spine crawlers. There's a queen here with a transfuse. There's a queen here without a transfuse, but that can be pulled to the natural to help defend. Creep tumors are starting to spread out from the Zerg base, which is, of course, very, very handy. And you know, ShadowWraith is in a pretty nice position. The only awkward thing is I didn't have metabolic boost, but he's now building that up currently, along with +1 armor and +1 attack for his Zerglings. So these Zerglings are going to be scary, scary monsters once all of this finishes off. And just by the way, guys, with this new microphone getting finished, I might go back into and start streaming it, because I have a very nice microphone. So if you guys have a tournament that you're possibly setting up, or you know of a tournament that's setting up that kind of needs a commentator, I would be extremely happy to help out with anything. I'm also going to be talking with who told me that suggestion. I don't know, I forgot who told me that suggestion. I'm so sorry, dude. But I'm going to be talking with the guy that posted in the thread about getting forum players together or prominent forum talkers together to maybe play a couple of games and have that commentated. And we do see ShadowWraith absolutely wrecking the Terran army, and let's be honest, who was surprised? As of first, a Banshee pops out, which shouldn't do that much damage because there's already 2 Evo chambers, and there's absolutely no freaking way that he's going to be able to snipe that Evo chamber even nearly easily enough. That 3rd hatchery is coming down, and it is going to be a macro hatch in the main base. He has not decided to take a 3rd yet, and this would kind of be the time where I start thinking about taking a 3rd. However, at the same time as I'm saying that, it would appear that Neowulf is going for an absolute all-in with this Terran army, and that is... it's a little bit on the scary side, because, you know, Marine Marauder all-ins actually aren't that bad. Now, of course, with this massive ball of Zerglings along with the 5 freaking spine crawlers, it should still be reasonably easy to hold off for ShadowWraith, especially because he has the advanced production, he has the infestation pit coming up, he has the spire coming up. This is basically, if he holds off this 1 attack, it's going to be a game in the bag for ShadowWraith. All he needs to do is fight these guys off. He does not actually have any detection currently, which is definitely a little bit on the awkward side. The 3rd base is now going down for him, so he is building up more of that economy. Neowulf is still trapped in on his 1 base, yet does not appear. There's the command center. Never mind, he hadn't built a command center up until this point, but he is now building one. So we are going to see maybe an expansion coming out from Neowulf, but honestly, it's just going to be so late. It's going to be coming out after the Zerg 3rd. It would appear that the Zerglings are being absolutely wrecked. They definitely need that spine crawler support to help defend through this. It would appear the Banshee is going to be swinging in. Doesn't have cloak. It does not have cloak, which is a little bit on the awkward side, because these queens are going to be able to do a very, very nice job of sniping off this Banshee. And with transfuses, this should be a very, very easy defense for ShadowWraith. He does not want to be engaging against that army yet. He does need the Spine Crawlers to hold off that primary ground force. And with these queens here, it should be an extremely easy defense. There's also 56 lings on the way. That is a crap ton of lings. Oh my god, so many lings. And, you know, +2 armor, +2 attack is coming up. He should have left at least one queen down there just to deter the Banshee harassment and, you know, maybe give him time to get another queen down there in case the Banshees were attacking quite majorly. You know, are the queens going to move? Is the transfuse going to be in time? The transfuse is, in fact, in time. It would appear the full-on surround is going to be going down on the bio units from this Terran player, and that is going to be an absolute massacre as they all get taken down by the highly upgraded, or the more upgraded Zerglings, I think is the correct term. We do have a Banshee getting sniped here. Neowulf not even paying attention anymore. He is in absolute havoc trouble right now. He is moving down to the natural, but honestly, this Zergling force is just so strong and so big and so rough and tumble. I don't know if it's going to be possible for our Terran player to win. It's just going to be really, really rough. I don't know. It's going to be on the rough side. We do have 8 Neolisks coming up right now, and 8 Neolisks are going to be extremely effective versus this army. Siege tank research is done, so we are going to see a nice siege tank blast going down on these Zerglings, maybe killing off 1 or 2. But if one of the siege tanks does get sniped on this low ground, he is going to be going right for the command center, and it would appear that Neowulf is going to be lifting up and running back into his main base, and this is going to be absolutely horrible for Neowulf because he does not have any economy at this point, and I'm not sure how well it's going to go when he tries to get some. I mean, it's gonna be rough. We have 8 Neolisks currently up for ShadowWraith, 8 more on the way, so that's gonna be a total of 16 Neolisks, which is going to be able to absolutely trash any sort of tank defenses, along with trashing mostly SCV lines before Marines get there. Marines do of course have stims, so they are a little bit faster, and it appears that a planetary fortress is now going down to natural. That's an interesting decision, because honestly, even when you're this far behind, planetary fortresses still aren't worth it at the natural. You still need that orbital command down here. Especially when you're that far behind. You need that economic growth. You need those mules to even have a chance of calling back into the game. So this is definitely a poor decision from Neowulf going for this planetary fortress. It will definitely put him a little bit on the awkward behind side. And as these 16 Neolisks are now swinging in, ooh, this is a big mutaflock. These guys are going to be able to do a ton of damage to this army, and we're just going to follow them for a little bit. Let's see how they wreak havoc. We have +1 Zerg air armor on the way for our Zerg player. Along with that, looks like Galil reconstitution to allow his roaches to move a little bit faster. At least I think that is. Is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know what upgrades look like. I know what tool takes off. It would appear that the missile turret is going to be getting sniped here. He probably does not want to be at his natural because there's just so many freaking Marines. So he is going to be ducking the hell out of there. No Mulisks are going to go down, and we are going to see the attack on the SCVs in the main base. And oh my god, magic boxing those SCVs that didn't even know what was coming. It would appear that he's going to be ducking out and maybe even going towards the natural. Once again, there is a small pack of Marines here, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. It's going to be enough to kill off a couple of Mulisks, but without medevac support, they just get absolutely wrecked because medevacs are the real thing that keeps your Marines from dying to the multiple bounces of the Mutalisk. And we do see quite a few SCVs going down. If we look at the workers kill tab, we do have 37 to 1 in ShadowWraith's favor. That is an extreme workers kill count lead, and it would look like Neowulf is just in an absolute ton of trouble right now. I'm not sure what his plan is for living through this. It looks like we do have the 5 Hellion Harass. These are, of course, Blue Flame Hellions, so they are going to do a lot of damage to the Zergling numbers, and this is actually pretty well controlled by Neowulf. He's going to be able to kill most of these Zerglings before his Hellions go down, which is most certainly cost efficient. However, it's not cost efficient when you have these giant clumps of Marines running around, wreaking havoc on your entire base, killing off your attachments, just being overall very, very annoying. There is +2 flyer attacks coming down, along with adrenal glands, and +3 for the ground melee units. So this is going to be an extreme amount of danger to be in for ShadowWraith. I would not be surprised to see an Ultralisk Cavern going down right now, but he is going actually for the Greater Spire. So we are going to see quite a few Broodlords coming down, which is going to be, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice and hot. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna really quickly test the whispering, make sure that it's all good. So I'm gonna calm down a little bit. We're gonna get a little bit into it. Maybe I'm gonna snap as I talk, be all jazzy. Oh yeah, be all Jazzy. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, back into the actual commentary after that very, very awkward departure from excitement and insane amounts of fun. It would appear that my waveforms took quite a bit of a spike there when I started to yell again, because this is great. Oh, I'm so excited about this microphone. You guys have no idea. I've been using like a $15 microphone from Amazon this entire time, and I just got this brand new microphone, this brand new stand, this brand new pop filter, this brand new little audio recording box that allows me to change the gain on my microphone so that I can get it just right for all of my commentating needs, and it's going to be absolutely magnificent. I might even start, picking up a couple extra days for commentaries. If we do manage to get that forum thing going, it will probably come out on maybe Tuesdays or Thursdays. And then, again, me and Goodiness are thinking about doing some sort of pro replay kind of featurettes on various games from various different systems. But it really depends on how many replays are getting released by players, because it would be nice to have those sort of, 3-game matches, and those will of course be from all of the major tournaments, from all of your favorite players, and they will come out on Fridays, hopefully, if that manages to happen. We just kind of need to work on how it's going to work a little bit, and then I'll get back to you guys on that one. It'll probably be information that I post in my thread, and it'll be nice and fancy and cool and fun. Yeah, that was right, you heard all those adjectives. Aren't you excited? Alright, well, we do have the 8 Broodlords now moving across the center of the map for ShadowWraith. These are quite scary beasts. However, ShadowWraith does kind of need to wait for them to come up here, because they're also quite slow beasts. They're giant, hunking, lumbering bat things that fly through the air and are ready to absolutely wreak havoc. And I just realized that broodlings are actually just mini broodlords. So what do broodlings, like... Alright, so if you kept a broodling alive long enough, would it turn into a broodlord? Like, if you just camped a broodlord in the back of your base, would the broodlings eventually grow up into broodlords, like in 18 years? They finally hit puberty and they just start, like, growing crazily. Like, they have one giant arm and one tiny arm, and they're like, ah! And they're just doing circles. Oh, maybe that's their issue. Maybe they grow unevenly and then they just crash into the ground and die. Maybe that's actually why they get thrown. Oh. I think I'm on to something. I think I'm on to something. It would appear that the broodlings are now going to be attacking the factory, and this is what happens when you let the Zerg get so many broodlords that they just don't even care anymore. It would appear that the Bioforce is going to be reacting to the main base, but Neowulf is basically done at this point, because this is 8 broodlords, and there's absolutely no way to fight that off, and Neowulf has left the game. I would like to thank you all guys. I would like to thank all of you guys for watching this video. I would also very much appreciate it if you comment on the new microphone quality, either here or on my Battle.net thread or on the Reddit thread. Basically anywhere that I can see or comment, I would love to have it, because I am very interested in seeing what you guys think about this new microphone, what you think could use a little bit more fixing, a little bit more tweaking. This is of course a test commentary, so it might completely fail, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. So anyway guys, this is Boisterous signing out.